Hi, what is up, guys? Welcome to the Max Nation. Welcome to the Max Murder. I am the Max Murder, aka Dr. Max Revo, PhD in certain parts of the internet, aka Goon number 50 Tailgate if you know my past. And above all else, the Jim and Them 22 award winner for 2020 Epic. And today we are going to be diving into some Fallout 4 as I go over some nostalgia, some shows that I wanted to go ahead and talk about that I got reminded of this past week. Just real quick, we're going to go ahead and just get everything sent out to all the places, all the socials. Be sure to follow me on there. The Max Murder on most places, except for Twitter, oddly enough. So be sure to follow me there, MaxiDLuffy327 on Twitter. Let me go ahead and just get everything out there. All right. So again, guys, be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to check out the archives. Check out the Death Stranding 2 pre-birthday stream. It was really just amazing that I was able to go out all 4 hours. But rest assured, you know, we out here. We're grinding. We're grinding. And up is so I was on Discord today, as I am one to do, and I proceeded to have a conversation that brought up a show that I feel has been scrubbed from the internet. And what I mean by that, it is a little show called MTV Fear. And basically what it was is that it did a lot of walking, so basically all ghost hunting shows could crawl for the most part, or vice versa, you know the vibe. And it was really just an amazing show. It only ran for about 2 seasons, but it unfortunately has been scrubbed from the internet completely. Let's see. Streaming now. Be sure to send out the word to all the places to check out my stuff, check out my channel, check out the stream. Okay, let's make sure that it went out to the right place. And if you guys in the Max Nation could, while I go ahead and get this cooking and sent out on the Twitter machines, on the Facebook machines, and the Instagram machines, send it out to all the appropriate places that my stream would be going to. Okay, let's see. And most likely with Fallout 4, we are just going to kind of just roam around aimlessly, see what craziness we can get into, and really just, have a good vibe, have a good experience. And I have begun the process of recording April to the Max. It is coming on up. I went ahead and I recorded about 3 episodes of BioShock Infinite gameplay today, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely a lot more evil people in that game than I really remember, and a lot of skewed views of the world, so definitely stay tuned for that. We're kicking it off this Thursday and this Friday. We're going to be starting April to the Max. So don't miss out on the action. Sunday streams, you guys know the vibes. Welcome to the new channel. Or welcome to the new channel. Welcome to the channel, damn it. Okay, streaming now. Bear with me, folks, while I go ahead and get some stuff sent out on the social media. Be sure to smash the emojis in the chat. Be sure to smash a like. Check out the archives as soon as the stream is done. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and dive on in. So yes, so MTV Fear, it was really early on in the 2000s. It was a ghost hunting show. They picked about like 5 or 6 college kids, gave them about $5,000, not individually, mind you. They definitely got that broken up piecemeal. So everybody got basically $1,000 to sit in the damn dark for probably like 2 days or most. And it was probably it was also very bare bones too, especially in the terms of like reality TV and the like. So that's kind of what made it better in a lot of ways. Like the only thing that really kind of maybe made it a little bit scarier was like post and editing and stuff like that. And it never went past 2 seasons. I remember oddly enough that so it ran like 2 seasons, and then I never saw anything. And then just randomly in October, like of the following year, when it kind of got canceled, they proceeded to play 2 episodes that I have since not ever saw up to that point. And I was luckily able to get them like recorded on VHS, but it was definitely like I never heard from that show again. Okay, what do we got here, buddy? What are we doing? Oh yeah, we don't really got nothing. We got nothing, my friend. But yeah, and I never really heard anything from it. I remember a couple of years back, I ended up finding like I think it was like a burned copy of what would have been the DVD when it would eventually come out. And ultimately, it never did. I think they put out like one DVD, and it was like a post-show interview kind of deal, where like the people talk about like the trauma that they dealt with it, as well as if they ended up stronger for it. So I had those. I watched those for years. Luckily, people on YouTube are real ones as hell, because they were able to find everything posted on YouTube, and now I can watch it to my leisure, which is why I mostly watch YouTube these days. Alright, let's see if we can just get into a little combat just to break up the monotony. Oh, here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, yeah, that would be a bad idea then. Yeah, because he's carrying he's basically carrying a nuke. And I basically do not have anything. Do I even have caps? What do I have? Okay, I have 103, and that's no cap. Okay, cool. And even like back then with MTV Fear and like ghost hunting shows, like it took a while for like ghost hunting shows to like fully land as far as like interesting within the zeitgeist of the world. So, okay. Duh, I forgot to load this up. Okay. But yeah, like it just took a while. Like there was like a bunch of like similar, like not ghost hunting shows, but there was always like attempts at trying to make some kind of like ghost or like ghost story type show. Oh, what was Cartoon Network's ghost hunting show? Because I know that Nickelodeon did one. They did one actually that was like really, really good. It was called Scaredy Camp. And what it was is that they took like they took about like 6 kids from a camp, kind of had them do like, silly obstacles throughout the day, like, typical camping stuff. And then they would, quote unquote, investigate just like a dark place, but like really just in context. They are just like dropping these campers in the middle of the woods, in the middle of the dark, with like nothing except like, okay, here you go, here you go, kids. Here's a camera. Figure it out. We'll have a cameraman in the far distance, and we promise not to be too scary. The Other Siders. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one. I'll have to peruse the YouTubes for that, because I bet it was great. Like I'm all for just like the typical like ghost hunting, go in and do a dare type of like ghost hunting, like with like Zach Bagans and like Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures and like paranormal and stuff like that. is that it's like so like just very, very bare bones of like investigation, which I mean, for the most part, Ghost stuff is going to just be like very bare bones investigation, but like church it up a little bit. Church it up a little bit, lead to think that there is a current death that you might encounter. But you know what? We're out here. We're vibing. Oh, it was only 2 seasons and 23 episodes. I mean, that's still a good run, honestly. Like, MTV Fear only ran, I want to say, maybe like 8 episodes per season. So there's like 16 in total. So, I mean, there wasn't like a lot of episodes. They'd send kids into abandoned places, then they get scared at noises and stuff. Yeah, exactly. That's ideally what you want. Like, even if it's fake or not, like, just overall the context of like, all right, you're gonna go in here, you're gonna stay in this dark location, you're gonna sit there for X amount of time, and then you'll win a prize. And depending on what decade it is, you can win I don't know, you can win a karaoke machine, or you could win $5,000. Really take your pick. All right, let's see if I can find that stupid super mutant and see what's popping. And I definitely try to watch MTV Fear, like, especially like around like Halloween time. I even went crazy for a while, and I was just like watching it to fall asleep. Like, I got problems, all right? I'm watching ghost stuff to fall asleep. It's haunted, and there are 2 super mutants with a damn nuke. Oh, yep, this is not gonna be good. 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 Leave me alone, leave me alone. Oh, here we go. The difference being that these kids actually had camera equipment and ghost hunting stuff. There wasn't any prize, just the hunt. Now, see, that's also cool. Like with MTV Fear, there weren't too many cameramen. Like, there weren't too many camera people. Like, there were like producers like in the wayside, where like just to make sure that like nothing went wrong, but for the most part they kind of just like set up cameras in like varying locations of the haunted place, and then they had like the front facing camera, and then the person that would go out and do the dare or whatever, they would also be carrying a camera as well. So I mean, it was very bare bones in its approach. And even like a lot of the times, and I was even talking to Octavia about this, and she brought up how, like, yeah, a lot of the times they would just read you like the horror story that went along with the place that you're in now, and it's like, oh yeah, that's really great for morale. That's really, really great for morale, buddy. But you know, $5,000 and being on 2001 MTV, it's a vibe. It's an experience. And a little update with the channel, and I'll have to see exactly what I can change within the parameters of the channel with this new update. So, this past weekend, your boy went and got himself a laptop. So, everything's going to be improving within the Max Nation. We're going to be able to, you know, I'll be able to maybe even stream and not game. Just, you know, hop on. Y'all get to see my screen. Y'all get to see me edit. Or at the very least, I could just hop on VC and Discord and just, you know, I don't know, play Bones for like 45 hours. Let's go. But yeah, so I do have a laptop coming, and gonna see if I can put my microphones and my mixer and pretty much everything else that I currently have equipment-wise, be able to put it to work, as well as teach myself how to video edit and maybe even do some audio editing as well. So big things are coming within the Max Nation. We out here, we're grinding. Spread word of the channel. Okay, yeah, I think it's a safe bet that we probably should not be heading this way. And one thing that I also, so I had another discussion with somebody the other day, because sometimes that does happen. But So I was talking with somebody and we got into the discussion of like spicy food eaters on YouTube. And I'm pretty sure people have seen these types of dudes in the algorithm. They're these dudes that will eat the hottest thing possible and stare, like just deathly stare at you while they're eating all this hot food. And then just to show that there's no reaction. And so many of these dudes, like they eat themselves like probably into just straight up like gut and GI destruction just for YouTube. And it just also makes me wonder, like, do these dudes even like casually enjoy things? Like even like competitive eaters, like, you know, your Furious Pete's, your Beard Meats Food, your Manverse Food. Like, do these dudes even enjoy food at like a certain point? And even like to an extent, like, yeah, like the spicy eaters, like, do they just eat something that's casually spicy, or do they just has their taste buds just been destroyed just through the process of time, or just through the process of just content making, and they just don't have it anymore? Like, they just don't have any interest in, like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab me just like, I don't know, some jalapeno Cheetos, and that's fine. Yo, Daewoo, what it do, brother? Welcome to the Sunday stream. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, man, we're just playing a little bit of Fallout 4. I'm just kind of going off on some topics, some things that I discover, some things that I've been watching, some things I've been talking with people talking with people about. So, whole vibe, whole experience. Not going to be too much Fallout 4 progress, if I'm going to be honest. Like, I have played Fallout 4 top to bottom. I have put more hours into this game than probably like any other game, and I arguably dislike this game with a fiery passion. So I have played this from top to bottom, so I don't have too much investment. So we're kind of just like walking around, I'm talking about things, just chilling, just vibing. Welcome to the Max Nation, brother. And I got destroyed. But yeah, just like with the spicy eaters, competitive eaters, like these dudes that are like, even like Matt Stoney. I'm just like, because like I know that a lot of them like work out, so like technically it kind of like balances out with like just the sheer amount of stuff that they're consuming. But it's also like, because yeah, I think there was like that competitive hot dog eating dude, how like he had done so many contests that he like broke the receptor in his brain that like told him that he was hungry. And then I even see like people that are like big on like eating like sour candy, and it's just like what is happening? People want like to be masochist food eaters, or they just want to make content, or a little bit of both. Like, there's even people like the LA Beast out here that's eating like expired food just to say that like, yo, I drank a Crystal Pepsi from like fucking 2002. And it's like, bro, that is at what cost, my man? At what cost are you putting your body up to this testament? Okay, I don't think I found this place before. That is what's up. Oh, good God. Have a good day. Yeah, see, Mario? Mario knows what's up. Yeah, LA Beast is a straight up like savage. Like, I don't know how anybody could like live with that dude just based on the amount of like gross stuff that he like consumes, or just the fact that that room is just going to be destroyed with anything throughout the end of the day. Like, just watching it, like, I would describe some of the things that he has consumed, but I do not want to ruin anyone's day. Because, yeah, like, I found, like, this dude, like, the Sour King, and I have no clue who you're talking about. Okay, Daewoo, so LA Beast is just this dude who's, like, his whole thing is kind of just nostalgia. So he will order a lot of like the classic foods from like the 80s and the 90s and find people that like still have them like in the same box. So he does a lot of like, yeah, he's going to try those. Like, he does a lot of like weird like food challenge kind of things. And that's mainly what I'm talking about, is like these people that just do these insane like food challenges Or even people that are just like, yo, I'm taking like 3 habaneros, I'm throwing some Carolina Reaper sauce on it, and I'm dipping it in a pepper extract, and then I'm putting Takis all over it. And just because it's like, oh, this is like a million Scoville units, and it's like just based on the science alone, it's going to be as hot as when it first touched your tongue. So it really doesn't matter how much you stack on top of it. You're still just eating hot stuff. And it just like, I just don't understand like having to go that far and that extent, and especially if you don't, and especially if like it's just genuinely like painful. Like, are these dudes enjoying bulldog ramen after they eat it with like a bunch of Carolina Reapers? No, I don't think they are. His hot ice experiment was hilarious. Yeah, that one was rough. Like, he does a lot of like just insane like testament stuff. Like, I remember when he. What was it? He like somehow converted a vacuum into a beer bong. I was like, that is insane board man logic right there. That is insane board man science. All right, let's see if we can just go to Diamond City and Police Precinct, Boston Public Library. Okay. All right. And so a little update with the Death Stranding 2 photo contest. So there were some issues on Twitter with Kojima Productions saying that like the search function on Twitter wasn't working. So there hasn't been any updates in regards to who the winner is. But after the Death Stranding 2 pre-birthday stream that I did last week, I got a bunch loaded up in the chamber for next month and the coming month, so we shall see. So definitely stay tuned. I always keep an eye on my Twitter, just so if I get like a million retweets from Hideo Kojima, Kojima Productions, Death Stranding 2 pre-birthday stream was a major success. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for going the distance if you did. And above all else, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Because it really was heartwarming and nice just to see like all the love from the Jim and Them community, from the Max Nation, from just various parts of the internet of people just like wanting to wish me a happy birthday. So I do appreciate you guys, and I appreciate the love, and I hopefully will be able to reciprocate in some way with just this fantastic content as we're entering in Return of the Max. We're going to go so crazy this year, you would think it was a comeback. Especially with the fact that I got the microphones, I got the laptop. We're going to be moving on up to the east side or the B side or the Max Nation side. Figure it out, bozo. All right. Do, life's good. Do, life's good. All right. And also, in the past couple of days, to give an update to my Joker's card second deck listening, I have made it through Fearless Wed Fri, and it was definitely a nice return to form. It is a very like classic, like by the book, like ICP record, just silly tracks from top to bottom, banger tracks from top to bottom. Definitely tracks I did not expect to go certain ways. Because I said fuck it, and I listened to the EP that followed Fearless Wed Fri, which was Flip the Rat, which EPs after Joker's cards with ICP usually just consist of either throwaway tracks or maybe not like throwaway tracks, but yeah, destroyed. But like just extra tracks that they just kind of just wanted to make. And I actually found a song of theirs that they started going into conspiracies and like very specific conspiracies, and dare I say, it was probably the most base shit I've ever heard in my life. Pro streamer, yeah, Daewoo. So my channel, I've been doing video. I've been kind of doing gameplays like I want to say since maybe like December 2024. And then I proceeded to just wanting to make it like episodic and like document my gameplay in case I caught like a quick time event that like maybe nobody had seen, or if I just did something cool, I would be able to record it. And then I just started like working down like my backlog of just like various games on like PlayStation. I got some Nintendo Switch clips. And so what I'm doing now is I'm kind of doing like a gameplay every month of just like one solid game. And then on Sundays, I kind of just hop on a game that I don't really have too much investment on, or one that I've kind of played to death, so I can kind of just do whatever in it. And I mostly just kind of go over like nostalgic topics, movies I'm watching, music I'm listening to, stuff I see on the internet. Basically, more or less like a podcast. Imagine that, Dave. It's like a best Saturday or something. That's a good way to play your backlog. Yes, absolutely, Daewoo. And it also kind of taught me how to like I pretty much know video editing for the most part now. Like I'm getting that down, and then as you see on my channel, I'm getting good at like making my own thumbnails and stuff like that. So it's also kind of like training. Like my channel is basically kind of like a work in progress. Like I can kind of do and try a bunch of different things and theme things a different way. And I also try to like reach out to like people in the Jim and Them community or like other communities I might be in and see like if they make music or if they make art, and just a way I can kind of like highlight them, and if it pops off, be able to give them the views or be able to give them the attention. So it's kind of like a community thing as well as just like a chill vibe, chill environment. And we do gameplays on Thursdays and Fridays for like the main game I'm playing, and then we do streams on Sundays. Alright, we fighting. Ah, destroyed. I put up a valiant effort. So yeah, I'm almost halfway. I'm more than halfway through the second deck of the ICP Joker's cards. So I just have to get through Yum Yum Bedlam, which has like one album and then like 3 side albums that I think like include with the whole thing. And then we have the Knot. We have the final card of the deck. And I will have been fully caught up by the time I see ICP at the end of the month. And so with me going to level up, meeting a good amount of people that are in the chat right now, as a matter of fact. So the last week of April, I am going to be kind of taking a break. I'm still going to be streaming on the 19th, which will be the day before I go to see ICP. But in terms of gameplay, there will not be any gameplays that week, just because like both days that I would be premiering, I would be on the road, and I can't guarantee that I'll have like good connection, and I want to be able to be as interactive as possible. So last week of April, it's just going to be, most likely, I'm going to try to queue up some shorts. I do need to get with Roxy and cut some clips from Bioshock 2 last month for St. Matrix and get those posted for you guys, so you guys will have something to check out while we're out in Vegas if you're not out there hanging out with me. Oh, my Lanta. Alright, we got exploding cars, we got super mutants walking around with nukes. That's the day in the life of a Fallout man. Or a Fallout boy, if you will. Alright. One Piece lunch meeting is going to be so cool. Yes, Mario, like I am so glad that is all coming together, because that is going to be like just a bunch of people just going to the One Piece cafe, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be kick-ass. Like I said, I'm going to go broke meeting and buying as much One Piece and Jim and Them memorabilia as I can. Especially like if I go there, because I know that there's going to be merch there. Because I thought that there was only, like, I know that the One Piece cafe existed. I just thought it was like in LA, because One Piece is at Universal now. But that is going to be awesome. Definitely shouts out to Leo Vegasgoon for pointing that out. And it's also just cool just seeing like the other kind of One Piece fans within the Jim and Them community. And even just if you're not into One Piece, it's still, I think, cool to just go and check out and be like, all right, that's weird. Chopper's cool. Chopper's pretty cool. And it's like, yes, he absolutely is. He is the breakout star of the live action. Hey, buddy.
I don't know who you are.
Yeah, sorry. All right. Cool. Except we don't use the workshops over here because base building is a bunch of bullshit and it's not needed in a Fallout game. Okay. So, meeting ICP, or not meeting ICP, meeting everybody at Level Up is going to be fantastic. I'm not a huge anime guy, aside from Pokemon, but I acknowledge its existence, and I respect the One Piece grind. Hey, Mario, honestly, that's more than we can ask for, honestly. Because I'm not an asshole. I'm not going to ever try to sell somebody on One Piece, because, like, that's just a lot of episodes, and that's just not fair. But as long as just the acknowledgement is there, the appreciation is there, all of the creators of just most modern day animes were actually all friends. So surprisingly enough, it's all like, it's never been competition with like a lot of them. Some of them might have been bitter, some of them might have been petty, but at the very least, Toriyama, who made DBZ, was friends with Oda, who made One Piece, and vice versa. And from what I've heard, like because I know I've seen some people that went to the One Piece Cafe. They said that the food is really good. And one thing about One Piece, Mario, is that One Piece is very centered on food. Food is probably the biggest narrative piece in One Piece. So food is going to be key. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be Kino. And it's going to kick ass. We're gonna be full up on chopper food, and we're gonna go see Mike Steele wrestle at Level Up. We're gonna be handing him steel chairs, light tubes. Daewoo might even go through the table. It's gonna be all kinds of craziness. Why are super mutants everywhere, bro? Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go back to the top of the map, because this is way too risky, my friend. Lead pipes, yes. Gotta break out the lead pipes. You gotta break out the steel chairs, the kendo sticks. It's gonna be awesome. I'll hand Mike brass knuckles. You gotta be secretive with that, though. The thing with wrestling is that's always very hidden under wraps. Hell, sometimes in wrestling, it was never even brass knuckles. It was just doctor's tape, and they just said it was brass knuckles. Oh, I can't fast travel while enemies are nearby. That's bullshit. Alright, whatever. We're gonna go ahead and just run like hell. That's the Max Nation way. When all else fails, run like hell. Literally hidden under wraps. Yeah, like, I mean, it was always, like, weird looking, too, because, like, you clearly saw some of the wrestlers, like, clearly wrap tape around their hand and then just, like, hit him with a knockout punch. But you know what? It was the strongest punch in our industry. And that's when we're going to see Mike Steele. He's going to lace up his Lakais. He's going to go sleeveless. He's going to do a 450 from the top rope. He's going to do better than I did right there. And it's going to be awesome. Like, what's weird, Mario, is that, like, so when Mike left the show, and I think Daewoo can attest to this, I don't know if you were listening at the time, Daewoo, but, like, when Mike left the show, he came back, like, I think, like, maybe even, like, a year later, and he was the biggest wrestling fan I had ever seen. Like, he was a bigger wrestling fan than I am. Like, I already have kind of the shame of, like, wearing wrestling shirts out in public, because there's always, like, that stigma. But, like, Mike is wearing, like the pinkest, loudest shirts possible. Like, he was just so locked in. Like, for episode 400, like, he had a wrestling mask on, referencing a wrestler that I am genuinely surprised that Mike even went far back enough to learn about. And the fact that Mike Steele also knows about Rick Rude just blows my mind, Daewoo. And not just only knows about Rick Rude, but like enough for him to be in his top 5. I'm like, that is a man of culture right there. The scummiest man in all of Japan. And what's weird is that, like, even when he, like, came back as a wrestling fan, I don't think he had any intentions on, like, trying to wrestle, but damn it, he did it. He did it. He, like, wrestled a bunch of times, and, like, he also did indie matches. I'm like, this man really loves the industry. This man's really all about it. Like, I love wrestling enough, but I don't think I would ever be risky enough to even be, like, a manager. Like, it would just be genuinely kind of scary a little bit. And I mean, granted, I probably could be like, yo, I don't want any spots. I don't want to go through any tables. I don't want any, like, silliness. I don't want to be, like, caught in between anybody. I don't want a bunch of heel heat against me. But even then, I'd just be like, yeah, I just couldn't do this out in public. Like God help MJF for especially because, like, I guess on an interview recently, like, MJF talked about with his wife and said that, like, yeah, I told her, yeah, when I leave the house, I have to be on. So, like, you just are fine with just being a villain across the board and not even, like, the actor playing the villain. Like, people like Joffrey from, like, Game of Thrones, how he just quit acting because people just did not like him if they saw him in public. So it's genuinely something that I don't think I'd ever want to, like, dip my toe in. But, like, Mike was just like, all right, yeah, go ahead, put me through tables, smash light bulbs over my head. If it's my last match, I go down on my back like a real worker. I'm like, damn, brother, you're, like, so close to just saying the word kayfabe on your day-to-day. So yeah, Mike Steele, we're going to be seeing him wrestle at Level Up. I am going to try to get some shorts and, like, record footage, like, while I'm at Level Up and just kind of, like, upload that on the fly. So definitely stay tuned for those. And then, of course, like, a million pictures, because I do plan to get as many pictures as possible with witty comments underneath. So, and end of April, it's coming up. At this point in time, in about a month from now, I will probably be very depressed that I'm not out in Vegas still. But rest assured, we still have time. Still have time over the Max Nation. Starting April to the Max, this upcoming Thursday, this Thursday and Friday, Part 1, Part 2. Come by, hang out, 5 p.m. MST. And be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to hit the bell. Be sure to hit the emojis in the chat. It helps the channel. To what extent, I'm not totally sure, but fuck it, do it. Alright. So, a couple of channels I wanted to go ahead and throw out and throw some shout-outs to. Channels that more often than not, if I am not watching Jim and Them, if I am not watching anything One Piece related, I am most likely watching either one of these channels. The first channel, just to keep it within the wrestling scope, is a channel called Wrestling Bios. Now, Wrestling Bios, I found them through their Reliving the War series. Reliving the War was basically Wrestling Bios watching both Raw and Nitro from the entirety of the Monday Night War, all 82 weeks, or more. Be good to watch that week. Like, would you watch Nitro? Would you watch Raw? Would you watch neither? Or would you somehow channel flip? And just recently, in the past couple of months, he did finally hit the end of the Monday Night War. Ended it with WrestleMania 17. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Wrestling Bios. Everybody should check out Wrestling Bios. It's a really great channel. Very in-depth video essays. Even if you don't know anything about wrestling, it pretty much walks you all the way through the entire channel. Like, it walks you through pretty much all the lineage, all the history, pretty much additional stuff that you did not know or stuff that might help the context over it all. So let me go ahead and drop the link in the chat for all the wrestling homies to check out, as well as just anybody in the Max Nation to check out. Check out Wrestling Bios, pretty active channel, very active channel. They revisit a lot of things. They kind of give their own spin on things, as well as just kind of break down some of the history that I did not know otherwise. Because wrestling history is very, very weird. It's very, very random. At times it's bullshit. It's terrible, but damn it, we're watching all of it. Been watching it for years. Weirdly enough, that when with the fact that he ended reliving the war at WrestleMania 17, that was actually the time that I started watching wrestling. So by the time that I was watching wrestling, the Monday Night War had ended. The only game in town was the WWF, and just watching with the cleanest slate possible. So shouts out to Wrestling Bios. Everybody should check out Reliving the War if you want some nice throwback to the Attitude Era, throwback to the NWO era, throwback to the Cruiserweight era. And there's even weirder stuff that he's covered too. He's covered Hulk Hogan's show, what was it? Thunder in Paradise. He's been kind of working down some of those episodes, and those have been great to watch, kind of like a Mystery Science Theater kind of vibe. As well as kind of just a lot of the weird stuff that WCW would do back in the day, how they had a Baywatch episode that that coincided with an actual WCW event. So all types of fun taking place on Wrestling Bios. Your boy's in the credits of most of the videos, big Patreon supporter of the homie. So shouts out to Wrestling Bios. Shouts out to wrestling. Hashtag I like wrestling. And I'm being taken down by a damn mosquito. I hate these things so much. Hey, Lung Glue. Yo, what it do? I appreciate you stopping by, brother. Yeah, we do streams every Sunday and just kind of reminisce on nostalgia shit. So appreciate you stopping by. I was raised old school. WWF 87 to 95 was peak. Yeah, dude, honestly, I do enjoy a lot of, some of the early 90s, WWF. There was just kind of, a charm, even though, a lot of, the gimmicks were kind of whack. Some of the matches may have been a little bit lackluster. It still had, a certain charm to it, whereas WCW was, pretty much, non-existent in levels of interest. Oh, I saw your pod last week. Hey, I appreciate you, brother. Yes, it was a long experience. Long, good time to be had. I appreciate you no matter how long you stuck out, because, yeah, I definitely went all 4 hours. I didn't really have much, no energy throughout all of it, which is crazy. So, yes, and I am planning to potentially start a pod maybe in the potential future, just because I'm getting a new laptop, I got new microphones, or I have found my old microphones. So, definitely stay tuned. But yeah, just there was a certain charm, because I remember, and this was a really cool pawn shop find. So shouts out to all my homies shopping in the pawn shops. But I remember one time I was my family was pawning something, and then we found all of the WrestleMania in the giant VHS set. It was from 1 to 14 in one box. The only one it didn't have was 7 and 9. So those are the only WrestleManias I haven't seen. And I always really enjoyed by the time it got to WrestleMania 10 and onward. Because you had Crush, you had, I don't know if Dynamite Kid was still there, but I mean, he was still doing Dynamite Kid things. You had the British Bulldog, you had Owen Hart doing Owen Hart things. Yeah, it was cheesy and silly, but it had that feel. And honestly, with WCW, it felt like that they just needed to fill time. It didn't feel like that they really wanted to do anything, oddly enough, because they just kind of threw gimmicks together. They kind of didn't really do much outside of once they got the cruiserweights, that's what really helped them for the most part. I don't think that people were really too stoked on Hogan versus Giant for week 45. Dynamite was crippled already at that time. Oh, okay, cool. Well, not cool for Dynamite, but for that clarification. Because, like, that's even something with, like, Reliving the War that, like, Wrestling Bios points out is just, like, how awful WCW was for just, like, gangs of weeks. Just weeks on weeks of matches that didn't, like, actually fucking matter, like, at all. Hogan versus Giant was played out. Well, once the Giant fell off a damn arena rooftop, I think that's kind of where... I think the shark had clearly, like, not even fully jumped at that point. It did a damn leg drop on its way out. And even with, like, the Dungeon of Doom, they took, like, 25 dudes against, like, Hulk Hogan for some reason. And Kevin fucking Sullivan was the one leading them. Like, that is, like, that is nonsense. And then you had Ed Leslie doing Ed Leslie things as the Booty Man, as the Booty Man, the Zodiac, the Renegade, the Disciple. Yeah, WCW, like, genuinely, I don't think WCW was ever good. I'm sure I'm probably, like, wrong in that sentiment. I'm pretty sure that, like, you know, there were some moments that, like, were very important to wrestling history and ones that you can go back and watch. But then you look at kind of the real brushstrokes of WCW and you're like, what the fuck is any of this? What the fuck is any of this? Why is, and don't get me wrong, I understand his importance. I understand the importance of, like, the jobbers and the people that don't really ever seem to pan out higher than their current level. But, like, when there is a Norman Smiley fighting Glacier and the Kiss Demon, and it's been building up for, like, weeks, it's like, oh man, what is happening? Blood runs cold or some shit. And a little rise with Eric Bischoff, but it fell off hard. Yeah, like, and honestly, like, that's why I don't understand, like, when people try to, like, blame Vince Russo for, like, the downfall of WCW, and it's like, did you not watch the product? Did you not watch the NWO takeover where, like, the entire episode, or, like, half of it, was them basically moving and changing the Titantron and everything in the arena when there's only an hour left? LOL, OMG, you're making me relive my childhood. Yes, Long, like, that is what we do over at the Max Nation. We're all about the nostalgia. We're all about revisiting things. I am very terrible at watching current day new things outside of One Piece. And even then, I wait to bulk watch One Piece. So I tend to live in the past. At work, like, we play a lot of, like, stuff on TV and stuff like that, and I am dead ass pulling up commercials from, like, my childhood and stuff like that because it's all accessible on the current day of YouTube. So I live on nostalgia. I'm glad I'm able to go back in time. And I'm even glad that there are people that found their fucking DVR recordings and decided to just, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and put that entire thing as one stream on their channel. I hope they're not trying to get monetized, but I appreciate the grind. I appreciate the, you know, dedication. So yeah, Wrestling Bios. Everybody check out Wrestling Bios. It's a really good channel. It's well worth it. They also do a lot of breakdowns of, like, current wrestling, old wrestling. He's currently doing a deep dive on, like, Lucha Underground and even, like, past, like, terrible 2010s WWF storylines. So everybody go check out Wrestling Bios. The stupid gimmicks they did they do a boxing thing for a while? They tried to do some boxing matches. They tried every once in a while to do boxing matches, and they even brought in, like, Bruce Buffer for some reason as to, like, build the ambiance. And I think it was, like, fucking Roddy Piper versus Buff Bagwell. And but what was even weirder is that like as time went on, like they brought in like Tank Abbott, who was like an MMA guy. I'm pretty sure you remember Tank Abbott, and they tried to include like MMA style stuff like that within WCW. Like there was that giant cage, like the bird cage that like Scott Steiner had. Like they tried to do stuff like that, and then there was even. Oh man, this is a throwback for all my people who had UPN in the 2000s. In the 2000s, there was a show called Battle Dome, and it was a very wrestling themed, like American Gladiators knockoff. That's actually where a lot of people saw like Terry Crews for the first time, and it did have some ties with like WCW. Like there was like a little bit of a crossover. Like there was like a bit of a wrestling like kayfabe feud. And the show was whatever. I mean, it was definitely fun for its time. You're probably not going to remember it because it was on fucking UPN in the 2000s, but it was still just a great show to watch. And there was even like a lot of like the American Gladiators or whatever, like those types. They had just like even like wrestling gimmicks, and yeah, like WCW tried to do like a bunch of wild shit, but it never really like panned out. Like, I mean, they brought in like Master P and the No Limit Soldiers and like had them built into storylines, and had like they wanted the Kiss Demon to be like a main eventer. Kiss did. And that seemed like a nightmare and a half. And I genuinely do feel bad for the Kiss Demon dude, because Wrestling Bios actually made a video about him and how like he was genuinely like a pretty proficient wrestler, and he was like a genuine Kiss fan, and he wanted to make it work so bad, but like booking and wrestling and backstage politic issues permitting, it did not work well for Mr. Kiss Demon. Ted Turner's big ticket item. And honestly, I don't know how like what Ted thought of like WCW like near the end. Cause like I do sometimes genuinely wonder if he was like fine with Ted, like with WCW in its current standing, or if he just literally like went like, okay, Eric, figure it out, dude. If you're not figuring it out, I'm going to give it to Arn, or I'm going to give it to Kevin Sullivan. Take your pick, buddy. So I genuinely do wonder, like, if Ted was tuning in, because, like, I mean, a lot of people could say that, like, oh, well, Tony Khan, like, Tony Khan at the very least is at Gorilla, so he has to, like, watch everything that's currently going on with AEW. Whereas, like, because even Vince McMahon was like pretty hands-on, but I don't think Ted Turner a day in his life was going to be sitting in WCW Gorilla. He supported it, but yeah, they rooted it sad way. Yeah, because like honestly, he definitely did like leave a blank check, because a lot of the shit that like Eric Bischoff and stuff like that did for WCW, like it didn't make any sense to do that. Like I can't remember which book it was, because Wrestling Bios. This is going to be a Wrestling Bios episode. No, but so he also does videos where like he breaks down like wrestling books, and I think it was Ric Flair, or maybe even no, it was Bobby Heenan, as a matter of fact. And Bobby Heenan brought up that that they brought on James Brown for like a Nitro appearance as opposed to like a pay-per-view appearance. They've Rude, Fox, Screw, Aussie Sling. Hey, shouts out to the Max Nation in Australia. Shouts out to all my Aussie boys out there. Yeah, Nature Boy, like, because yeah, like Bobby Heenan was even like, yeah, the whole point of the wrestling industry is to make money. And just by throwing that away just for like James Brown for like a small appearance, it was just like they were just spending so much money. It was madness. All right. All right, and be sure to like and subscribe, guys. Be sure to hit the emojis in the chat. Be sure to leave a comment once the stream is done. Let me know how you guys are feeling about the channel so far. We are going to probably be calling it quits here soon. just because your boy has to go back to the work grind. But we still need to make sure to do a Sunday stream. We do these every Sunday. I appreciate you guys stopping by. We're going to be discussing a lot more things in the coming weeks. But like I've been saying throughout the stream, we do have Bioshock Infinite gameplay this Thursday and Friday at 5 p.m. MST. Sunday streams at 8 p.m. MST. And, I got a split, dude. This was my smoke break. Hey, I appreciate you, Long. Yeah, I appreciate you so much for stopping by, brother. Yeah, just be sure to ring the bell just to make sure you don't miss out on anything. But I usually let people know what's going on, especially when I got stuff going on. So, Bioshock Infinite, April to the max. We're starting it this week. We got Level Up and ICP at the end of the month. So we're going to be grinding away in Bioshock Infinite. And we are going to go ahead and plug some homies real quick. We're going to go ahead and plug some homies real quick, plug some shows real quick. As always, shouts out to Roxy for all her help on the shorts. Like I was saying earlier, I do got to get with her so I can get some Bioshock 2 shorts posted. I've just been locked in this past month. A lot of streams. Got to check out. A lot of love I got to spread. So I'm going to get Roxy some shorts. We're going to get them posted. Shouts out to Roxy. She a real one. She's going to be tagged in the description. For the artists of the channel, of course, we got Bubble, Zach, Nami, Pink Lemonade. See you soon Wednesday for Jim and Them. So long, Jim and Them will not be live on Wednesday this week. That was mostly because Jim was off from work. So it is going to go back to the normal schedule of just Monday and Thursday videos and live on Friday. I will actually get to that in a second. So Bubble, Zach, Nami, Pink Lemonade, everybody check out their art. Everybody check out their skills. Everybody check out their talents. They'll be tagged in the description as well. Some of the other homies that are doing stuff throughout the week, we do have Jim and Them, like I was just talking about. They got a video dropping tomorrow at 3 p.m. PST as well as on Thursday. And then they're going to be live on Friday at 7:15 p.m. PST. Be sure to stay tuned. And it looks like Mario, I'm the topic for tomorrow. Okay. All right. We shall see how that goes. Because I think I know exactly what you're talking about, and you're a real one for that. So everybody check out Jim and Them. They'll be tagged in the description as well. ESO, I was on Riffing on Raph last night. Got to discuss all things Little Debbie. Got to discuss all things White Girl Mob. ESO, they're live every Saturday at 7 p.m. PST. And they also drop videos Wednesday and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. PST. Everybody should check them out. They got quite the archives going on. They're always out on the grind. Shouts out to them. Bunch of real ones. And hold on, I gotta get a drink of water. Drink of water. But Bubble, like I was just talking about her, she does a music show every Tuesday at 12 to 3 p.m. EST. I'll go ahead and drop a link right now. It will be tagged in the description as well, but she does a lot of work with that channel, or with those playlists and with those songs. She's an archivist of sorts, and she's overall awesome. Get some pink aura in your life, and go check out Bubbles' music she wants to hear. And then, of course, Humongous 420. He went live earlier today, every Sunday, 4:20 p.m. EST. He did a birthday cameo for your boy, as well as Octavia from ESO did some nice birthday art for your boy. So, shouts out to Humongous. Always on the grind. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Filthy Freaks. Hail. Whole 9. Go get some Humongous in your life. And Frames and Rhythm, of course, they the homies. They're pretty active. Their following is getting pretty big. They're covering some pretty interesting topics at the current moment. So everybody go check it out. If you want some good Hollywood happenings, they'll be tagged in the description as well. And for me, the Max Murder on most places. Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. You can find me there. I'm doing stuff. I'm doing things. I'm doing cool Max Murder things. Max Nation. Maxi D Luffy 327 on Twitter. Give your boy a follow. Check out all the promo that I'm cooking up. Check out the streams that I be posting. Yeah, a bunch of homies. Yeah, Daewoo, I have a lot of homies, and I also like to be able to redirect to people because, like, we have so many creative people within the Jim and Them community that are all, like, doing their own streams, they're all doing their own lives, they're all doing their own creative ventures. So I want to be able to kind of be a redirect of sorts for a lot of those folks and just make sure that, like, their stuff, like, you know, gets some eyes, and get some love. And like I was talking about earlier, April to the Max starting this week, this Thursday. Lock in, come by, hang out with your boy. St. Matrix, everybody go ahead and check out my past archives. Bioshock 2 this past week, or this past month. Check it out. We did a lot of grinding, a lot of good times, a lot of good experience. As well as check out the archives. I have a shit ton of videos. I have like over like 1,200 goddamn uploads. Check them out. I have a lot of shit. And when I can get around to it, I have shorts dropping on days that are not live at 8 p.m. MST. So stay tuned for all that. And then we'll go ahead and save real quick. All right. So with that in mind, guys, I appreciate you stopping by for the Sunday stream. We'll be back Thursday for gameplay and then back on Sunday for another stream. So with that in mind, be sure to rest up, flex up, hydrate, drink your water, take your time, utilize your breaks, take the day to be a bum ass if you want to. You're well within your right to do so. And with that in mind, I will see you guys next time. You guys have a great rest of your night.